Hi there everyone and welcome back. Today I will be showcasing some battles from my good friend KVIN8494. Um, he has been running a similar team to me, except he swapped out the uh, Purloin that I run and he has got the Pawniard, which to be fair I do really like. Another team just waiting to see Bronzor and to beat Bronzor back into its place, which is not in this little cup meta. Super fun, super spammy, Fury Cutter, Night Slash, and Ironhead on the Pawniard is just good fun. It spans out the Night Slashes and does a ton of damage. It is a bit frail, but it's still very good fun to watch. So just as we get into the first battle here, we have Pawniard into Ducklet. This is an okay matchup. Obviously the Fury Cutters will be resisted, but Night Slashes do a lot of damage. Kevin safe swaps into Seal and starts getting ahead on energy. Successfully calls the Bubble Beam there and is looking to farm up more. His opponent does decide to throw the Brave Bird, but it was after the Icy Wind, so the Seal survives and is able to get an Aqua Tail off. Not quite taking out the Pawniard with that, but does get the Simul KO. So we're just waiting for the clock to come down, and we've got Whooper into Pawniard here. Not a great matchup. Those mud shots and mud bombs will be doing a lot of damage, but Pawniard can return that damage with the Night Slash. Shields up the Body Slam bait and then gets to the Night Slash just on the CMP tie there. Very good for Kevin there. Yep, he's going to let this Pawniard go, and he's hopefully going to be able to farm down with his Dino, and does successfully do that. And the opponent has a Drift Bloom left. Kevin here can easily go for double crunch. Shielding up the Icy Wind that will come this way. Because of the extra energy he got, this should be fine. He can also go for the Body Slam, actually. By the time those Dragon Breaths add up, it's a nice easy Body Slam for the win. Into game 2 now. Pawniard on the lead this time against Bronzor. Here he is. This is what we want to see. Confusion Bronzor as well, which is triple resisted by our Pawniard because of the dark steel typing it's got. The opponent switches into a Vulpix, which is met with our Seal, and another lovely counter here. Body slams, that is quick attack Vulpix, so it is doing neutral damage with those quick attacks and body slams, but does have to respect the Aqua Tails coming from the Seal, and Kevin does manage to get to the second Aqua Tail here before the third body slam, and does then get all shields. Comes in with his Dino to soak up some of the energy here. He does shield a Weather Ball, but if that was a Body Slam, it would have been the same sort of result. Opponent then switches into their Shelmet. Can take one Body Slam and is now getting further ahead on energy. Goes for the Iron Head to hopefully one-shot this Shelmet, which just barely survives. Kevin will shield up the Pawniard here. Even though that Body Slam's resisted, Pawniard is not the strongest of Pokemon in those regards. Its best stat is attack. Opponent now going to be throwing a Psyshock, which is again triple resisted, so not quite sure why the opponent did that. Kevin now throwing the Night Slash, almost taking out the Bronzor. In comes the Vulpix again to take out the Pawniard with a Weather Ball. Kevin can farm down with the Bronzor and easily gets to the crunch to secure the victory. Into game 3 here. We've got Pawniard on the lead versus Dino. A very sort of neutral matchup. Although those Dragon Breaths from the Dino are resisted, it's just such an attack weighted mon in Dino anyway, and the defensive frailty of Pawniard, it basically is, it may as well just be neutral because that's about the same damage output. Whooper then came in for our opponent and is met with our own Dino, and Kevin throwing these body slams, getting a shield from the Whooper there, and does just let it go. And Kevin now trying to get ahead on energy with his Seal to hopefully try and either debuff the opponent with Icy Wind or throw some Aqua Tails. Back comes the Dino, so easily Icy Wind here, which is super effective while lowering the attack. Swaps into the Pawniard as it's got that energy from earlier and is able to throw the Iron Head before the opponent can even throw off a charge move. Gets to the Night Slash versus the Bullfix, which does massive damage. Also knowing that we've got the Seal in the back, this is an easy no shield on the Weather Ball here. And now we have Seal and a shield to close out this game. Safely shields up the Body Slam here, and we'll get hopefully to an Aqua Tail or Farm Down. Either one I think was viable there, but Kevin decides to throw the Aqua Tail for the win. Game 4 now for you. Pawniard versus Shadow Stunky. This is not. It's a matchup which is for some reason just way worse than you think it is, considering you resist the bites and the Fury Cutters are neutral, but the Shadow Stunky just does so much damage in this in the Little Cup. Seal now coming in after getting a shield off from the Iron Head. In comes Ducklet for our opponent and is met with an Icy Wind to lower its attack and to do neutral damage. Brave Bird now from the opponent, which is a very interesting play because that means Kevin's able to fully farm down and get a lot of energy onto his Dino. Can safely start going for these crunches versus the Bronzor that's now come in. Shields the first one, but does get the defense drop. And oh, a beautiful catch there on his Pawniard to take the payback there. Opponent swaps into Shadow Stunkies. Kevin goes for the Body Slam to knock it out before any more damage comes through, and Kevin should quite easily be able to get to another crunch here to fire at the Dino. Almost taking it out, and an easy farm down with Dragon Breath. Don't know why our opponent threw there. It was quite clearly over as Kevin still had a shield, but that's the victory there. Into the next game here, we have Shellos. This is a spicy pick. Very good against Pawniard, being Steel type. And our opponent here decides to stay in with Pawniard into Dino, shields up the first Body Slam, and then swaps out into Shadow Stunky. Kevin just about gets to the Body Slam there, just before the Stunky was able to farm down the Dino with Bite. In comes Pawniard now to fully farm down the Stunky and starts throwing Night Slashes at the Shellos. 1 month slap did come through, and he's going to let the Mud Bomb go. He's going to go 2 shields onto the Seal here, and it's Bronzor in the back. So Seal in a very comfortable position here. Kevin threw the Aqua Tail there. I actually like to throw the Icy Wind first, which is what he does now. As a sort of nitpick at optimal gameplay, you want to reduce those the confusion damage and the side shot damage. Kevin shields up the first one and the second side shot here, nice and easy, and we'll get to the Aqua Tail here to pretty much finish off the Dino in this one, and a few licks later. Into the next game here, Pawniard versus Why Not. Not a good matchup at all with the counter damage. Kevin here going to race to get the Night Slash off, hopefully either to get a shield or get some massive damage. Gets the shield and now swaps into his Seal to start soaking up these Icy Winds. The Mirror Coats. Kevin's going to throw hopefully the Icy Wind to reduce the damage of the Mirror Coats and the counter damage, meaning that Seal can survive longer. That's why Seal, to be fair, is so good in the Little Cup. It's got great neutral damage, and then being able to be fairly bulky in itself in a very bulkless meta minus Bronzor and Why Not and a couple of others. It's just solid all round. Aqua Tail in Little Cup does a lot of damage as well as Icy Wind, and being able to 100% guarantee to drop the attack of the opponent is vital, especially if you can get a Pokemon locked in on that. We've got Dino versus Seal. Kevin unfortunately shields up an Aqua Tail there, but does get healthy farm. Healthy energy lead on his opponent here, almost at 2 crunches here, and can start firing off moves. And it is, of course, Bronzor in the back after body slamming the Why Not. Kevin now just trying to get ahead, tries to catch the I think it was either the Heavy Slam or Side Shock there, wasn't too sure. But it probably doesn't matter either way because the opponent is forced to throw anyway against the Pawniard, who still manages to survive the Side Shock. Opponent now probably throwing another Side Shock there. It does very little damage against the double resistance there because of the dark typing. Crunch almost knocks it out, and an easy farm down for Dino there. Into the next game here, Pawniard versus Dino. Quite an even matchup, but Kevin racing to the Night Slash there. Opponent makes a catch onto their Ducklet, and that Kevin comes in with his own Dino to almost fully farm down the Ducklet, who throws the Brave Bird and goes down. Opponent now coming back in with their own dino. Looked like a CMP tie there on the dino. Kevin running a sort of egg caught dino Ivies there, so was easily able to win CMP there. Opponent let his dino go and is going 2 shields into the Bronzor, which unfortunately against Kevin's team is not going to work due to him having 3 counters to Bronzor here. No need to shield up this move from Kevin. Can easily take whatever move, and if not, he's still got the seal in the back anyway. Opponent realizes and doesn't shield the last Night Slash there. Into the next one, Pawniard versus Dino again. Going straight for the Night Slash, as he's done every other game so far, grabs the shield from the opponent, and now swaps into his own dino. He's able to shield here, whatever move it is, and then fully farm down, but the opponent makes a nice switch into Ducklet here, so that doesn't happen, and Kevin doesn't get any more ahead on energy than he already is. Body Slam from Kevin there onto the Ducklet, sorry. Opponent throws a Bubble Beam, doesn't quite KO the dino, and he is able to get another Body Slam off. Sadly though, the opponent just survives and is able to get a final Bubble Beam off. In comes the opponent's dino again. Wasn't quite sure why the opponent did that, maybe just to try and get some energy. Kevin almost farmed him down, and then they both sort of simultaneously swap into Bronzor and Pawniard respectively. Night Slash doing huge damage, and a great shield there on the payback there. That payback probably would have taken out the Pawniard there, and Kevin's now able to get to 2 more Night Slashes here to take out the Bronzor, and the dino in the back is on very little HP and gets farmed down by Fury Cutter. Into the next one here, we've got Pawniard versus Bronzor once again. This time a tackle Bronzor, so we haven't seen too many of them in these battles so far, but you definitely would rather run the tackle Bronzor than the Confusion one. Personally, it just does more damage, especially in the mirror or against the Pawniard here. Even though it's still resisted, it's only singly resisted, I think, rather than the triple resistance of the Confusions here. Igglybuff now coming in. Kevin throws a Night Slash at it, which still does huge damage, to be fair, and then swaps into his Seal. Still not a great sort of matchup anyway. Igglybuff does have access to Wild Charge, so it is something you've got to be on the lookout for. And the opponent here does throw Shadow Ball, actually, so it's got access to some great moves here, and does take out Kevin's Seal, but he's able to get a little bit of farm onto his dino here. Does call that the opponent might switch out to try to catch the Body Slam, but Kevin's actually quite happy catching the Body Slam anyway, and is then able to throw his own Body Slam, winning that CMP tie. Opponent shields up, and then we unfortunately go down there to the dino. Even though we still had 2 shields, there just wasn't a great opportunity to use them, unfortunately. Into the next one, we've got Pawniard versus Drifloon. Very, very good matchup. Opponent shields the first Night Slash on the CMP tie for the Icy Wind. Kevin shields it up anyway, but still do big damage either way. So it's certainly not a bad play shielding it up. Opponent shields up the second Night Slash there, so Kevin quite happy to respect the save the HP on the Pawniard and swap straight into his Seal. Opponent here throws a Shadow Ball, which does massive damage, and then swaps out into their dino. Unfortunately, about to be met with an Icy Wind as there's no shields left in play, but the dino is able to farm down the Seal there, and does get a Body Slam off on the Pawniard, but Pawniard just survives because of the Icy Wind debuff and is able to throw off the Night Slash there. Now it's Shadow Vulpix in the back here for the opponent. This unfortunately is going to do massive damage with the Weather Ball. It was just one of those unfortunate ones where the opponent had the perfect counter there for Kevin's dino. Into the next one, we have Pawniard versus Why Not. Not a great matchup. So Kevin there opting for the chip and dip with the Night Slash. The opponent no shields, and he swaps straight into his dino to start farming down. Opponent just throws the Miracle right at the last second there. It won't do too much damage, and Kevin's dino survives. Is able to get to the Body Slam just about with this Infestation Shelmet here, before getting taken down. Kevin trying to assess his options. He goes with the seal, which I think is a good play. Starts getting ahead on energy here and throws the Icy Wind straight away to debuff the Bronzor's attack. Swaps back into his Pawniard, opts to shields here as he's still got 2 here. Heavy Slam would have taken out probably even with the debuff there. Farms up a little more and now starts throwing these Night Slashes at the Bronzor. Gets to the second one here. Good energy management and move timing here from Kevin. Just making sure that he's not giving the opponent any free ones. That one was okay because that almost would have taken Kevin out there. Opponent soaks up all that energy and goes back into their Checkmate to try and get further ahead on energy. Kevin successfully shields up the Bug Buzz there, which would have done huge damage, and is able to take out the Checkmate with an Aqua Tail. Now the Bronzor doesn't have much health left, and a farm up to the Aqua Tail should be enough for Seal to take out the Bronzor here. And into the final game I've got for you today from Kevin, we have Pawniard versus Seal. This time in Ice Shard Shield, so he must have been annoyed at seeing Dino in the lead. And Kevin here going for the Night Slash straight away on the CMP tie here. And our opponent throws an Aqua Tail, does massive damage, but Kevin, because he was able to CMP tie, the opponent got no free Ice Shards through there, and he was able to get to the second Night Slash. In comes the Lick Seal now from Kevin to start gaining energy on the Ice Shard one, and Kevin's able to fully farm down the Seal, and our opponent brings in their Bronzor. So we're going to instantly debuff the attack here on the Bronzor, so these confusions are doing less damage, and now we're going to start throwing Aqua Tails at it to chip down this Bronzor. Bronzor is just so oppressive in this meta, hence why we like to run doubles or double or triple counters to it, so that we can just make sure that it's not a threat to our team, while still providing us with good coverage with our moves, and Seal as well, just providing us with great coverage there on the rest of the meta. That was all the battles I've got from Kevin today. Thank you very much for sending them over. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody. The last video that I've done for me has blown up. It might not have blown up in terms of into a viral sort of video, but for me, getting over 200 or 300 views has just been insane, and I'm so grateful for all the support. If you could on this video, if you enjoyed it, please do give it a like and hit the subscribe button. I am trying my best to get these videos out as quickly as I can in between other life things like work and stuff. But I'm trying my best. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying my videos too. Thank you, and I shall see you in the next one.